Sunday afternoon. This is Rubbin Minds. Welcome. My name is Ebuka Obuchand. Thanks for joining us. So we've been enjoying the World Cup. Well, I think we have a bit of a break today from football. Lots of surprises. Some people have said it's probably the best World Cup they've seen in a long time. Unfortunately, Nigeria is not part of that narrative. But yes, besides football, like I say every week, a week in Nigeria it feels like a lifetime everywhere else. So much has happened this week. And as we always do, we're going to be kicking off the show talking about all of the headlines that caught our attention in the past week. I have here with me Wale Oshunde, a lawyer. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, yeah. There's so much to talk about. I'm trying to look for where to start from. Of course, we have to start with the ruling party, the APC. Now, there's a major headline this week that there seems to be a crack in the party. I mean, not like it was surprising, because for a long time we've been hearing about NPDP, which was a part of the three other parties, I think, that formed the APC in 2013. But the NPDP had always stuck out like a sore thumb, even throughout the presidency. And it looks like a part of that now called the RAPC has emerged. And we're not sure exactly what their plan is. That they're going to decamp and start a new party. They're moving back to the PDP. Some people are saying it's the PDP or the SDP. We're not sure. But what are your thoughts on that? Let's start with that.
Well, I think, well, it's actually interesting. And then we all know that politics is interesting. And then in Nigeria, you find all sort of stuff happening, particularly when you are nearing another election, election. And so we know that next year, February to be precise, we're going to be witnessing another election in our land. And so you know that politicians, it is customary that they all start to plot their graphs, and then they want to ensure that yes, their stakes are taken care of. I'm very sure that all is not well with the PDP and of course the APC in particular right now. And so I know that aggrieved members are trying to now see how they can carve themselves out.
That's what I always find.
Re-strategize.
That's what I always. Sorry to cut in there. That's what I always find disturbing, because most people always say, well, this is APC should have fixed their house. But there's such a pattern with every election that we should actually hold these people who break out responsible for, not being able to stay put in a party and build a party, because this happens virtually every election cycle. A year or two before the election, people suddenly realize that the party is not credible and wants to move to a better place. And it's interesting that sometimes they move back to the party they had left before. I mean, what does that say about the sort of politicians we have? Is it really their fault, though, knowing that we don't have parties that are based on ideologies anymore?
Great. I think you just answered it. Yeah. The political parties that we have right now are not based on any ideologies. They do not actually have any ideology. They want to win elections. That's and politicians, that is just it. And that is why some people have said that, look, we need to ensure that our politics in this country is actually part-time. The moment you have your own job that you're doing, and then you probably come once in a while to play politics or to get involved in the process, you would not want to win at all costs. But what we have right now, we have some politicians who have no other businesses, and then, all they do to make money every day is to play politics. And that's exactly what we're suffering for. You see, when that alliance happened in 2014, before the election, I mean the APC, yeah. The formation of the APC as a result of the fallout of some people from the other parties and all that, I knew that there was going to be a very serious crisis after the election. And that's exactly what we're witnessing now, particularly when Nigerians are now bothered, and then they are crying that, the government of the day has actually not risen to the occasion. They have not done all that they expected and all that. I know that some people are now trying to reshape their own formations. They are trying to re-strategize to ensure that, yes, they win this time around. Because do not forget, there is no way everybody will be taken care of in the first half of the game. And so they believe that, okay, this is the first half, the first 4 years. And so they're now saying, okay, now that we're going into the second half of the game, the second 4 years that they are trying to claim now, they want to ensure that they fit in and that their stakes are taken care of. That's exactly what is actually causing all this.
But I think what made this one particularly interesting was the fact that the RAPC apparently was, led by Buba Galadima, who was a former National Secretary of the CPC, which of course was the base of the current President Buhari before they all merged to form the APC, I beg your pardon. He said the APC government has been a monumental disaster, worse than the government it replaced. That's of course referring to the PDP. And hearing something, because In the past, realistically, let's be very honest, the CPC has come across as very conservative and very sort of together for as long as they existed. You know, there's a party of sort of mutual, sort of friends. Of all the parties, I think that came together, that was the one party that people thought, you know, was a collection of people who have like minds, who were mostly from the core north, who were very conservative, who have been friends for a long time. So when you hear statements like this coming from an ally of the president, what does that say?
Well, I think that is incredible, honestly speaking. And I see a lot of stuff happening, you know, in the coming days, because not only Buba Galadima, for example, has fallen out with the president. You want to talk about someone like Pastor Tunde Bakare, you know, a very close ally of the president, coming out to say, excuse me, this president has actually not done all that we expected him to do, and that he's actually not performing, you know, the way they thought he would do. And I know that a lot of people are also working behind the scenes, and then they are not just coming out right now. But you see, in about 2 months' time or so, we are going to be really witnessing exactly. And then,
how much of this is selfish, like you said? I mean, when you hear, could it be possible that, is it not possible that an ally could be doing this for selfish reasons, seeing as maybe he thought, oh, this president is my guy, you know, this is our government, but he hasn't gotten as much as he thought he would. Isn't that also possible? Yes,
it is possible, but you know, the truth is that we have to be very realistic. Some of these people are actually courageous, they are very bold, they have seen, you know, the need to change the change, and then they are speaking up. You know, someone like Tunde Bakare, for example, would actually not just be ailing anyone, or, you know, would not just be talking about the president not doing what, you know, he expected him to do if the president is really working fine. And so I think that there are some genuine concerns that we all have to, you know, encourage, and then there are some that we need to probably stop, you know, when the time comes. You know, there are some people who would definitely be doing this for their selfish gains, but there are some clarion calls, you know, targeted at ensuring that the needful is done, and then we should encourage such people to speak up.